That I'm gonna give it back to the man of the hour, uh, Mr. Shelton Cobb, because he was one of the elected school board members. He's been a pillar of the community. He's been part of a lot of things that need to be done.
Well, thank you. All the congratulations and everything this morning. I hope I deserve that. We live in a community that's in flux and change, and we're growing. And we look to share in the progress that's been going on or is going on in the city and the parish of Lafayette.
Well, let me get your expertise on this first of all before we go into the shutdown across the country with the government shutdown. Mr. Cobb, in all your years of public service, have you ever seen anything like what's going on in Washington, D.C. that might affect this area?
Well, I'm pretty sure it's going to affect this area with much of the government shutdown, particularly in the area where people's services are concerned. And for those employees, almost 1 million of them, they're going to experience extreme hardship behind a whim about a wall that's really not needed. I'm not sure if a Republican could stand up at this particular point and say, well, and do the right thing, like we say, but they don't seem to be to appreciate that position. They want to hang with the president, who's acting very childish in terms of dealing with the people that are servants to this government, people that work, have to earn a living, and so forth. He's willing to sacrifice their holdings, their families, their properties, and everything else behind a whim that he has about building a wall, which is not needed, proven so. And those people who are suffering, he has no inkling of their dilemma.
Well, you think that's what you call party loyalty? Because I could give you one prime example. This is the oil patch, and when the last time, matter of fact, I love the gas prices because I could travel. We could go from point A to point B without no hesitation. Yes. But being that this is the oil patch, and they definitely promote fair oil and gas prices. We got a lot of our loved ones employed by the oil industry. I got 2 sons employed in the oil industry. Have a fair wage or make a good living, but you're seeing the prices of oil and gas. So if you are a Republican supporter of this person, I'm just going on some logical facts, you would want the gas prices to be a little higher to people to make a decent living in the oil patch. But I don't see no outcry from the Republicans against the person in Washington, D.C.
Well, you know, if you have faith in Republicans nowadays, I'm afraid that your faith is placed in the wrong place, because they're not doing anything for the people in the oil industry or anywhere else. Even though unemployment may be at an all-time high, you have to look at what kind of employment that's available to all people. You have to look at the means in which people have to make a livelihood. And there are other things coming behind this close down, shutdown, whatever you want to call it. People who are receiving government checks will probably not receive their checks. You know, they won't have opportunities to work. As far as the oil patch is concerned, I just read the other day that drilling in the Gulf of Mexico is going to pick up. It hasn't picked up, but it's going to pick up. We're living on promises
Speculating,
yeah, we're living on promises that may not be kept. We can't speculate with people who own property, who own homes, have children, need subsistence, have to take care of their family and so forth. I don't see any of those guys in Washington suffering, although they seem to be following this guy who we call president, tooth and nail, while hurting a vast majority of American people. Some of them have already gone almost a month without pay. others are going to go longer in the future if this continues. So I just think that as leaders of our country, Republican or Democrat or both, you know, they need to set themselves down and try to deal with the reasonable people in Washington. The president is not reasonable. He's collecting his money from our government, from his properties and everything else. Doesn't have anything to worry about. The working people are paying the price for this.
Wow.
Wow. You know,
I asked the expert.
the only thing I could say when for what he's saying, what the question you're asking, and how you stand it, is this is why it's so important that we get to register to vote, to make sure that we can vote. You know, a lot of us say, well, they're gonna do what they want to do. And yes, they are doing what they want to do because we are not voicing our concern with our vote. And our vote is most important. I don't care what nobody say. You know, some people might say, well, you know, we go out and vote. No, you don't go out and vote in record numbers. You don't wake up your neighbor, say, hey, look, I'm going to vote. You come on with me, I'm going to vote. Why don't you get out in your community and push voters registration? Push people to come on out and vote. You know, we're only strong in numbers. If we don't have the numbers, we don't count. And I say every vote count. And the only way every vote count, if we all come out and vote our interests. You know, you talk to young people, well, we don't know enough about it. But if you keep on talking to them, they into MTV, BET, they know all about those, what you call the movie channel, the Young and the Dumb, As the World Goes Backwards. They know about, well, I call it is really the Young and the Restless. They know all the names of what they're doing, all of this. Why can't you get involved in the politics that's concerning you? If you have kids, it's concerning your kids, not just in national election, state and local. You know, all of these things hurt us if we don't be a part of. You know, and while I'm on that, we get ready to come into the 2020 census. You know, we need to make sure our census are filled out. Yes, if you get your census and you start looking at what is going on, don't feel it's going to come to hurt us. It's coming to help us. And if you got 6 people in your household, don't just put 2 as head of household and leave the other 4 out. Because you leave the other 4 out, that number is not being counted. We get school, we get roads, we get community, we get all these monies from the federal government. But if we not counted, guess what? They don't know we there. And if they don't know we there, we are missing in action.
Yeah, you certainly saying a mouthful yourself. I'd like to ask direct to Mr. Cobb, ask him about this new sea change in the way the council and the Lafayette Parish Council and City Council, or if we want to call it that, configuration is the new sea change. What do you think of that? It's an honest opinion. If you care to give that, because I know sometimes when we give our opinion, it got some situation where people don't want to hear the hard truth.
Well, you know, historically, I've been against consolidation, primarily because it takes away the voting strength of Lafayette.
Okay.
We don't have a mayor. We have a mayor president. it seems that the mayor president, his objectives are to develop